and welcome to today's weekly science investigation. Now, today is all about static electricity. Now, I'm just going to briefly explain what that is. Now, some of you might know that everything in the whole universe is made up of atoms, and each atom is slightly different, which is why we have different materials. But every atom has a similar format of how it is, how it functions. And this is, atoms are so small, it's really small, like you can't see them. Even with a microscope, there has to be a really powerful microscope to be able to see an atom. They are so small, but inside an atom, you've got the nucleus, which is kind of like the brain of the atom, and then you've got some rings around the outside. So, in the nucleus, you've got things called neutrons, which are these the green ends, and you've got protons. Now I put a positive sign here, because these are positively charged. So you know how you've got magnets, you've got one side that attracts the other. These are a positive side that's going to attract a negative charge, which your negative charge in your atom is the electrons around the outside, which are just these, all the way around, and they are negatively charged. So, you've got electrons all the way around your atoms and every material. And what happens with static electricity is if you rub two things together, some of the electrons will pass on to the different items that you're rubbing together, and then that will create a charge, a different charge, because it will unsettle the atoms that are here, that are often usually neutral, because the protons and electrons outweigh each other, but the electrons are going, so that means there's going to be a slightly different charge on them, which means that it can attract different materials. So I'm going to show you how this can work in a few different couple of experiments that you can try at home. Now the first one, I've had to change the camera angles slightly because I need a wall. That's just a standard wall, and I've also got a balloon. And what I'm going to do, I've blown up my balloon nice and big, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it against my head, my hair, and hopefully what's going to happen is if I rub the balloon against my hair, lots of static electricity will be forming because a lot of the electrons will be passing from the balloon to my hair or the other way around, and then it's going to create a charge on the balloon that I'm hoping will then make the balloon stick to the wall. So, let's see whether it works. As I'm doing this, I can hear the little static electricity. You can either hear the, kind of like how it sounded if we got electric shock. It sounds really cool. So you can hear the electrons flying across. So I think I've probably rubbed it enough. Let's see now whether it sticks onto the wall. Oh, there we go. It's done it. That's stuck to the wall through static electricity. There's no glue, there's nothing there. All you can see is starting to lose its charge now, so it's falling down. But you can see it's falling very slowly. You probably can't see it in the camera angle now. That is solely just static electricity that's held that balloon up against the wall. It looks like magic, but it's just science. So I'm here, the second part of the investigation that we can do is with a running tap, and I've just got the water running very slowly. You want only a tiny bit of water. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our balloon, I'm rubbing against my hair again, try and form up some static, and I'm going to show you, because this is, I'm fascinated by this, what it does when you bring it nice and close to the water. So if I bring it close, you can see it is moving the water. The static electricity is attracting the water and it's moving how the water flows. You can see just how far it moves. I'm absolutely fascinated. This is amazing. So there we go. There are a few different experiments you could do to do with static electricity that you could do at home, obviously with a balloon. Do let me know if you have a go at any of them. There are different. In fact, the balloon wasn't the thing that I was suggested to do with the tap. It's actually to use a comb and use it. So maybe you could try different objects, different materials that you could try and do with the water one. Because the water one, I'm absolutely buzzed by it. I'm fascinated by it. It's amazing. So have a go. Do send me some pictures if you get up to that, and let me know how you get on and what other objects work with the static electricity. But I'll see you all soon.